Better dream big. Thank you, Nia. Why is this not working? Dream big and do big things. Igal Rotem is a repeat entrepreneur. Before Credorax, he started Butterfly and Power Design. Credorax is an incredible fintech company, part of a thriving financial technology sector we have in Israel. The papers say that the previous funding round was at a valuation of $300 million. And I think this is what makes Credorax a baby unicorn. Igal will speak about the Fintech Tornado. Igal, will you please?
Good evening. Thank you, Ella, and all the distinguished people that came to this event. I just want to say something regarding Nir's previous presentation, which always strikes me as an interesting fact. Out of the entire Israel workforce, what is the percentage of the Israeli workforce works at high tech? 5%. Think about it. 5% of the entire workforce participates in this amazing industry, which is, I think, a big shame. And I think that education and definitely understanding of the potential and encouraging more and more people to be part of this success is a big thing. Think about what will happen if this percentage will go from just 5% to 6%. And it will not happen over one day. It will take maybe a decade. So what? So the ability to bring more people, to make more money, to be more educated, and to be part of this growing industry is tremendous. But still, having said that, within this tiny 5%, we are successful in doing so many things. Another interesting fact is, and this is probably a big subject for a standalone lecture, the educational or the education paradigm. When you think about the fact that we all recognize that our education system is a failure. So how can it be that we are being pushed down in all the global parameters for mathematics, physics, and other PISA or other I would say global parameters that measures the quality of the education? How can it be that in spite of this fact, we are the startup nation? We have such an amazing industry. What happens? What happens after someone finishes high school and then make a decision to build a startup? I'm an electronic when was in the Israeli intelligence for 11 years. Then joined one of my army colleagues and helped me to bring Butterfly to become a big success. One of my colleagues, a sophomore here, was his signature is on the checks. Then Power Design, that not too many people know, but is a unique company because Power Design succeeded to do, I would say, a full circle. So start as a startup company, then build itself through venture funding to go public in 2004, one of the first companies to go public after the burst of the bubble. Then we managed the company as a publicly traded on the NASDAQ for 2.5 years. And then early 2007, the company was acquired in a fairly large transaction of over $250 million in a public-to-public by Microsemi, as Ella mentioned. I've stayed with the merged company for 2.5 years till end of 2009. And I'm very, very proud to say that that Power Design, which is now Microsemi Israel, is a tremendously successful acquisition. It's one of the most profitable high-tech companies that exists in Israel, making over 40 cents EBITDA on a dollar, which is unheard of for a hardware company. And I think that, you know, sometimes you need to take a decision that in some way pushes you out of your comfort zone. So late 2009, beginning of 2010, one of my friends, a Talpiot guy, comes to me with some kind of a crazy story about a company he's about to make a small angel investing. And he said, look, this company may become a bank one day. The guy lives in Boston for the past few years. And I'm telling him, look, I'm flying over to New York. And on the way, I'll stop by Boston. I will meet you. I'll meet the other team members that are part of this startup company. And let's take it from there. You know how they called the first 3 type of investors that put money in a startup company? Probably you heard this terminology. The 3 Fs. Friends, family, and fools. I definitely sit on 2 buckets. A friend and a fool. I met the company, Credorax, and practically without understanding 95% of the communication to me, I felt that there is something in this new type of a bank, if it will become a bank, that is really enticing. And I became one of the seed investors in this company, and the rest in some way is a history. So what we do. Credorax is a fintech company, focuses on credit card processing. And to make it very, very, very simple, every time you use your credit card to buy something, let's say you want to buy a pair of jeans from Levi's, there are 2 banks that take part in the process behind the scene. One is Bank Hapoalim, for instance, that provided you with a credit card. This bank is called the issuing bank. That's the bank that provided you with a credit card, and most likely you have your funds there. The other bank is called the receiving bank or the acquiring bank. This bank is the bank that gets your money. That's the bank that eventually will remit the funds to the merchant, to the retailer. In our example, Levi's jeans. Money goes from your bank account and Bank Hapoalim to Visa, from Visa to the acquiring bank or the receiving bank. The receiving bank will take this money, deduct the fees and the commission, and remit the remaining funds to the retailer. In our example, Levi's jeans. Credorax is that bank. Credorax is the acquirer. Now, we are not an engine that enables the bank. We are the bank. And this is, in a nutshell, the unique thing about Credorax. To my humble knowledge, and I'm not saying I know the fintech industry inside and out, I don't think that there is worldwide a company that is a high-tech company and a regulated bank under the same entity. How this thing happened? The European Central Bank, the ECB, decided to some extent deregulate the functionality of the acquiring bank and enabled non-traditional bank to perform this kind of activity. It's called the PSD legislation, Payment Services Directive. I will not get into it. But the bottom line was that the ECB said that financial institutions that doesn't have to be commercial banks can perform this kind of activity. With this notion, Credorax, that at that time was just a payment gateway, one of hundreds, with a bit of Israeli chutzpah, went to the regulator and asked for a license. License to become an acquiring bank. Surprisingly as it is easier to the central bank to give a license to nobody than to give a license to a big company. You understand why. A big company, big problems, history, issues. Why have you done that? Why have you done that? We had no history, no revenues, practically no employees. 2.5 people and a cat, no money. Surprise, surprise, early 2010, we get a license. A first license from a tiny island in the Mediterranean called Malta. Why Malta? We chose Malta because English-speaking country, very open regulation in terms of banking, 5% corporate tax for foreign entities, wants to become the Singapore of Europe, and very accessible administration. I have not been in Malta ever before joining Credorax. And when I joined the company, when I asked where is Malta, they said, Libya, a finger north of Libya. This is where Malta is. Malta is a paradise for fintech companies. We got the license there, and then the company needed to start processing. But guess what? In order to be an acquirer, you need small one thing addition to the license. You need to become a part of Visa. I thought, again, with no background in fintech, that becoming part of Visa is just some formalities. You get a banking license, you tell Visa, I'm a bank, I want to become a member. So I submitted the application to Visa and had the most insulting and short meeting of my life with Visa. Practically said to me, bye-bye, take a hike. Again, without knowing that becoming a part of Visa is a major, major challenge. Again, very long story. took us another year. We did receive the membership from Visa and MasterCard at the highest level. Credorax started to do processing late 2011. Our customers are the merchants. We decided to deal only with online. A major strategic decision, a smart decision. We're not competing with the banks on processing supermarkets, gas stations, convenience stores, or retail stores. We went to the most difficult part of the market, which is the online. And then, within the online, we realized this is too big a market. We need to focus even more. And we made a decision that we want to focus on cross-border transactions that are taking place when a merchant sells outside of his native jurisdiction. Eventually, this strategy pays itself in a big way. Credorax succeeded over the years to build a global platform that have two major layers. One is a technology layer. The other layer is a layer that is built from different licensings. We are now licensed in over 30 countries globally. We have a license in Japan, a license in the US, and a license in more than 28 EU member states. I'm not sure that there are other financial institutions that have more licenses than Credorax. The company is growing in a pace of 50 to 80% every year since 2012. Not because we're so smart, that's the nature of the beast. It's a big market. It's a big opportunity, and I think the fact that we got all these licenses and succeeded to cross these regulation barriers brought Credorax to where it is. The company have raised till now over $100 million. It's a big undertaking. It's a big task. If we are going to be a unicorn, time will tell. Maybe. But I think the major takeaway from what Credorax did is dare. Dare to do that. Don't be afraid to shake up the tree tremendously. We went against the biggest banks that exist out there. Barclaycard, Royal Bank of Scotland, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America. These are all our competitors. But we are coming with a very clear strategy, with a very unique and focused business model that takes the fact that we are a high-tech startup company and give a major advantage to the fact that we are small. We can change our strategy and move right to left 10 times before they understand even what needs to be done. It's a long way for us to go. The company was founded in 2007, so we are almost 10 years on the road. And we have yet, I think, accomplished only 20% of what is really the, I would say, first stage roadmap of this company. Thank you very much.